What I have on this dolly here, roll around dolly, is a GE washing machine, and I went to test it, but I said let me look under it first, so I did. And when I was doing that, I felt around. I always feel around up in here for a belt, because these things have a tendency to throw belts off and get messed up. And this is what I found when I took the thing off, because I couldn't find a belt. This is what's left of the belt, and it is wrapped up around this motor. And if you look down here, it has ripped off the motor speed sensor, so that's going to have to be replaced. Just to test it, I'm going to have to change the motor and motor speed sensor. I think I have a motor over here. That'll be simpler. Yeah, I have one right there. So I'll just change that motor out, because and I will charge the customer for a motor speed sensor and a belt, because this one has a motor speed sensor on it. And I'll just take this motor and replace the motor speed sensor, because you have to pull the pulleys off and all that, and I'm kind of in a hurry. Yeah, one motor's as good as another. That may be better. But you'll only get charged for a motor speed sensor and not a motor. But this customer brought me 5 machines, washers and dryers. He said they've been in his storage and he wanted them fixed. I said, my gosh, what do you need all of those machines for? He said he's got rent houses and things. Now, if I was a landlord, I don't think I'd be supplying washers and dryers to people. On account of they abuse them. If it's their own stuff, they won't. That's just, I guess, human nature. I don't know. That's how a lot of people are. Some people don't, but some people will take care of your stuff. But it's sad to say that in America, they won't. Places like Japan, they will. They still have honor over there. Or they say they do, amongst their own people. My father, who was in World War II, would disagree with you, because he spent his time in the Pacific flying aircraft, or on the USS Boxer, I think he was on SB-2Cs, and anyway, they didn't like the Japanese. And it really took, in my young life, it was amazing. Things from Japan things changed in the late 60s and 70s. The only thing Japan produced that had any quality to it was cameras. And then the late 60s and 70s, when markets opened up for Japan, I remember my aunt bought a Datsun pickup truck. And I want to tell you, it was a little small pickup truck that she bought, mainly to use around the farm. And her groundskeeper used that truck. Must have put 300,000 or 400,000 miles on that thing, and the bed rusted out of it. You could see the ground. You could sit in it and see the ground through the floorboard, but you could not kill that truck. It rusted away because of things like they put fertilizer in the bed, you know, and it spilled out, and they didn't wash it, and it lasted for, you just could not kill that little Datsun pickup truck. But eventually, I don't know what happened to it, but I don't think I think they gave it away to somebody. But the motor still ran. It still ran just as well as it did the day they had it, but it was something else. Well, I think I have a belt here that is good. Yeah, I think that's one. Oh, yeah, this is a customer machine. Better put a new belt on that. I don't put old parts on, or used parts on customer machines. I only put new stuff on them. Unless, of course, it's a motor. I will put used motors on. So anyway, let's do this. It came here without a drain hose on it, and I'm wondering if the drain hose might be in the tub. So this is how I put a belt on. I put it on a small pulley first, put it on top of the big one, take a screwdriver and run it around like that. Now once it's on there, it's going to come off of here, so you have to push against it and rotate it, and it will go back into place. And if you really want it to go back another groove, you can push it once more and it will center up this belt. Nah, that's too far. So let's bring it back one more groove. Yeah, well, that's about like it in the, well, that'll work. Alright, let's put this on. You can see pieces of the motor speed sensor. And these are number 10 bolts right here to take this cover off. And the motor, can't see that, is a 13. These right here is a 13, and these right here are 10s. Now where are those? I just had those. Put this guard back on, because hopefully I don't have to get back under here again, and this will fix the problem. Now, what we need to do is put us a drain hose on it. What is all that noise, Wally? Huh? What is all that noise? I don't know if that's going to fit that or not. Yeah. That's not the hose to go on it, but that's the hose I'm going to use to test it with. Unless it's up in the in this thing here. I think this hose came off an LG. Now you see these things, they go down in a pipe like that, and you can see these slots. That's for air to get by, because if not, you cause a siphon. This machine is not in the best of shape. I'm looking at this pattern here. Look at this. They put something in here, just jammed it in, I guess. You couldn't even read the model number off this if you had to. Worn away. Alright, let's test it. I think we ought to turn the water on first. No leaks. Let's get a GE document out. Alright. This for this model? I don't think this is. No, it's not. It's a different model. Well, this should work. Alright. To test these, you would retrieve this pamphlet, and it's on the bottom left hand side of the machine, taped right here, and that's what you would look for. And this tells you how to get into the service diagnostic mode, and I'll show you how to do that. I put it on 12 o'clock all the time. I don't know why. That's where I usually start. Hold down the start button, turn it 7 clicks or 180 degrees. Turn loose of the start button and wait for these lights to flash. Now they're flashing and you're in service diagnostic mode, and you get this sheet out and you look for this section here. It allows you to test various things. You can get fault codes and software versions and versions. You get down here to the hot water valves is the first test that I usually do. And the first test is for these two lights right here. See right here? You see right here to be on. Push this button and I get water. So that's the hot water valve. So we know the hot water valve is working. This water's flowing in. Turn it off. Hit that button again. Now you're going to test the cold water valve. These three lights, 1, 2, 3 right here. Push the button. That valve opened, and sure enough, we're getting cold water. So we know our valves work. Now you can go through the fabric softener dispenser. That one works. If it has a spray function, that one works. Now flow rate pressure sensor, I don't suspect anything's wrong with the pressure sensor, so I'm not going to test this. But I want to. It doesn't have a recirculation pump on it, because I looked on it. It's got one pump. It's got a drain pump. Let's test the drain pump. So we're looking for these two, and that soak and the wash. If I push this, the drain pump should come on, and it does. You can see that hose drop down when it's filled with water. And now we can do the lid switch test. Now the lid switch test doesn't test the lid lock. It only tests the lid switch. And the lid switch tells you whether the lid is up or down. So let's activate it. Now with the lid closed, the rinse light should blink. With the lid open, the spin light should blink. So our lid switch is working. Alright, so next test would be spin. Now the spin does test your lid lock. And so the lid has to be locked for it to spin or agitate in these test modes. So if your lid lock is malfunctioning, this test will tell you. And it will also tell you if we fix that motor speed sensor problem with the belt. But it takes time, so the first thing you're going to hear are 2 squirts of water. Then the lid locks. And you hear that grinding sound? That grinding sound means that the bearings on this machine are shot. And it's not going to be fixable. So that is one of the 5 machines he brought me. We don't need to go any further. When you get out in test mode, you just hold this down until it stops. So we don't need to go any further. We know that machine is shot, not worth fixing. Because to fix it, we'd have to change the whole gearbox, and it's really not economical for an old machine like this to take that step. So now we can move on to another one. I guess now we can work on a dryer. Let's work on this dryer right here. So he brought me that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So let's get a dryer over here and see what's going on with it. So far, out of 2 machines that I have tested, and both of them may not be, alright, both of them he may not want to fix. He might want to fix the other one, because I can't put a used control board on that other one, because it needs a control board, this one here. But we will have to see what the man wants to do. So this comes to me with a 4-prong plug, and I have a 4-prong to a 3-prong adapter here. And we will turn this on and see what's going on with this dryer. First, let's look in it. Good thing we did. Needs a little cleaning. It's already on. Ooh, look at the stuff come out the back of that. Golly. I can smell it. It's heating. Doesn't sound like it's turning though. Well, it is turning. So what's wrong with it? Yeah, that's messed up. We can fix it. Try to. The thing about these plastic deals is he can break those ears off, and it's about not fixable. Okay, so we got it set here on 50 minutes. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to leave it on 50 minutes, and we'll come back in 10 or so and see if the timer's turning. Because we know it's getting hot. In fact, it's getting really hot. Let's see how much the temperature is here. Woo, it's had a bunch of junk in it. Okay, it's up around 140. Yep, that's normal for a GE. Whirlpools get up around 165 or so. So we'll check it in 10 minutes and see what it looks like. Okay, I came back on this one. We had started at 50 and it had gone down to 40, and I came back and it was stopped. And I tried to start, it wouldn't start. So I said, well, I think I know what's going on with it. And sure enough, I came back about 5 minutes later and it started. And it ran about 10 minutes and quit. So what's happening with this machine? It doesn't have, well, I guess it may have, it says sensor dry here. I need to look at that. I couldn't find the sensor inside the machine. I'm thinking it had a bad motor, but it may not. It may quit because there was no clothes in it. So let's get rid of this and put some wet clothes in it and see if that makes a difference. If it does, then I'm incorrect and the thing works. But I couldn't find a moisture sensor, but it says right here, sensor dry. Alright, that makes sense. Always double check yourself, and I hadn't fixed that. So, and while I was away, came a rain. Let's put some wet clothes in it. And let me deal with this customer. So we put some wet clothes in it. We're going to let it run. Then we started on 40 minutes. We're going to let that run. See if it goes more than 10 minutes, and we know that the reason that it went off is because there was no wet clothes in there. And if it can't detect moisture on your clothes, it'll shut itself down early. That's what sensor dry means. Anyway, I'll get back with you and see if it works. And come to find out, it didn't work. It would run for 10 minutes and stop. It wouldn't start. It would run for 5 minutes and stop. And I come back about 3 to 5 minutes later, push it, it'd start, and it would quit even in less time. So what's happening is the motor is overheating, and the internal thermal protector is shutting the motor down. So this machine would need a new motor. I don't know if he wants to put one on there. I don't have one. I don't have a used one for this machine. So anyway, he's not looking good. He's got bad bearings on that one, bad control board on this one, bad motor on that one, and I still need to test that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one and that one. for him. He brought me 5 machines, and 3 out of 5 so far are probably going to be junkyard cases. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Check out my description for parts links, and also links to my books. You might enjoy some of my books. I get good comments on them. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Chip is out.